Jay-Z's world is spinning out of control. The very people he crossed are now seeking payback. Gene Deal just dropped a bomb, claiming Jay-Z is the next name on a hit list. Even Beyoncé is reportedly stepping back, keeping her distance before the situation escalates. To top it all off, Diddy is no longer supporting him. He has cut ties, alleging that Jay-Z refused to help him during his recent trial. The tables are turning fast.
Funny to me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It's probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean? It definitely was some snakes.
Jay-Z has seen his fair share of chaos, but this time he is the one facing the heat. For years, Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have been warning people, asserting that both Jay-Z and Diddy operated as if they were untouchable, running the industry through intimidation and power. They have consistently depicted them as dangerous men who built their empires on fear. Now, it seems karma is finally taking effect. Diddy is already in a cell, but whispers suggest Jay-Z's downfall could be even darker. Perhaps something far worse than prison.
Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, and Jay Prince. These four gentlemen that got together are going to put up $30 million apiece.
Contemplating doing the first black-owned distribution company.
The thing is, they wasn't trying to let us in the door. That's why I don't trust these people.
When Suge came up with the idea, it was a brilliant plan. He said, whatever the recording funds, 10% goes to the union. And each time you do a new album, 10%. It was going to be some get down or lay down shit. Shortly after that, the feds raided me.
All of us were being hit up around the same time. Someone left that meeting talking about our move.
It was Jay-Z and Puff that went to those Leo Corner to let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. They told Jay, if you help us get rid of Dame, we're going to make you the president of Def Jam.
Why don't we stick together and they got to come to us? For some reason, everybody just wants to do everything on their own. They don't understand collective economics.
In the streets and studios, whispers circulate that Jay-Z is a snitch, and the evidence reportedly gogoes way back. Do you remember the mess involving Lance Rivera? Jay-Z allegedly used money to silence things after the 1999 stabbing scandal, even though he pleaded guilty to third-degree assault. But here's the wild part. Lance still swears Jay-Z never touched him, so why would he keep protecting him after all these years? It's simple. Lance knows the cost of talking too much. In that circle, silence is not loyalty. It is survival.
Top rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a perfect person.
Jay-Z shows absolutely no remorse. He's even out here bragging in interviews, calling the entire stabbing situation with Lance Rivera the best thing that ever happened to him. Who says something like that with a straight face? People can't believe how cold he sounds, as if the incident made him stronger rather than being a source of shame. What's worse? Word is that Jay-Z has been keeping Lance quiet ever since, making sure the full story stays buried. But everyone who was at the Kit Kat Club that night knows what really happened. The only person still denying it is Lance himself, and that silence speaks volumes.
You had an incident with Rivera, you know, where you pled guilty to charges of, I don't remember exactly the charges, assault with a deadly weapon.
They would have never let me be out here with you if that was the case.
You stabbed him. Okay. All right. Do you feel like that was a mistake? In hindsight,
I believe that was the greatest thing ever. This is gonna sound crazy, but I believe that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that put the brakes on everything. That let me know that no matter how successful you are and how much you on your road, it can all stop. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still kids from Marcy Projects, and you know, not everybody they waiting for you to mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We let you just go ahead and self-destruct yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that right there was a moment I was like, okay. You know, and I'm glad they didn't have to take for me to be in jail for like 7 years to be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That moment was like, okay, all that stops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to parties with 30 people, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna put myself in that position no more.
Yeah, when you look at Dame still kind of living that life, you know, you could find Dame at the club, you know.
Yeah, but he's with 30 models. It's a little different. I was with the hood.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. He's hanging at a different kind of club.
First, Diddy fell, and now it's Jay-Z's turn. Somebody is clearly cleaning house in Hollywood. It feels like the powerful are finally being hunted, and people are saying Jay-Z might be the next to face the storm. Even Ice Cube chimed in, claiming he's convinced Diddy didn't just fall, he was set up. Think about it. 1 minute, he was living large, flying private across the globe, and the next he was down $700 million and locked up behind bars. That kind of downfall doesn't just happen overnight. Something in this whole story just doesn't add up.
You're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
He's produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, the Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of, you know, lost contact with him and really stopped, you know, dealing with Puffy around 94.
Yeah. Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, you know, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. You know, that just ain't what I'm in it for.
Jay-Z might play the part of a tough guy now, but the story was very different back in the day. Word is that during the peak of the East Coast versus West Coast beef in '96, Jay-Z was so scared of crossing paths with Tupac that he locked himself inside his Vegas hotel room. Gene Deal claims that Suge Knight, the death row boss, had to personally step in and calm things down before they escalated. Suge reportedly told Tupac to relax and let Jay-Z be, so the show could go on. That night, Jay-Z didn't stand tall. He hid behind the door.
What's the story behind Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room because of Pac?
All right, what happened was that I guess Pac had got whiff that Jay-Z was in town. Well, you know he gonna do a show because Jay-Z, he doing a show. But you gotta realize Jay-Z had became an enemy of Pac because I think he had said some was gonna do a song with Big or whatever like that, the whole 9 yards. So Jay is now Pac's enemy too. So Chaz Williams, who was over Black Hands. Black Hands was one of the labels who did that Black Gangster had every artist in New York on. And Chaz, who is now getting into the music business, has become a music executive. And he was once a former gangster who was on American Gangster BET because they had him down for robbing 161 banks. That's what they put in their program and everything. But Chaz was a gangster in New York City that became a music executive. So he gets a phone call saying that Jay is not gonna come out the room because Tupac threatened him. So he's not gonna do his show. Can he make some phone calls, you understand, to get Pac off the bullshit? So I think he may have talked to Big D, and Big D and Eric B called Suge, and Suge was laughing, saying that wasn't him. Because they tried to make it seem like it was Suge that was doing it, but it was Pac. So I guess Suge called Pac. Pac let him go ahead and do his show and everything like that. But Jay was scared to come out his room.
So that story was really true about Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he was scared. Probably still is.
Time I wanted to knock his head off, because he was being disrespectful. We was in Cancun and he had a personal assistant from my block named Laura. And he had brought like 6 people to the club with him, and he was only supposed to get 3 people in. I was running the door at Daddy-O's from Industry Entertainment. They just told me Jay-Z only get 3 people in. So I'm at the door. I said, yo, Jay, you good? And 3 of your other good, but the other 3 got to pay. So then he said, Laura, handle him. And at that time, the type of dude I was, you couldn't tell no woman to handle me when I'm talking to you as a man. I said, who you talking to like that? You telling her to handle me? And then me and him, he didn't say nothing. He just turned to the side. And if he'd have turned back around, he'd have got his head knocked off. But Laura told me, yo, Gene, please, Gene, you're going to make me lose my job. You know what I'm saying? And because, one, she was beautiful. 2, she's from our block. I wasn't gonna do that to her. So I gathered myself, stepped away from the situation, you know what I'm saying? But
Gene Deal admitted he wanted to knock Jay's head off back in the day. That's how deep the tension ran. If Jay-Z was truly as dangerous as some people claim, would Gene Deal be out here talking like that? It makes you wonder what he truly knows and how real this beef ever was.
I want to say this to protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that.
From your point of view, because I know you heard the statement that, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it, but I don't know what kind of half a homo that is, and you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So, I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
Diddy and Jay-Z were moving in the same shady circles, and word is that real witnesses can back that up. Everyone in the streets used to whisper that the two were partners in more than just music. They shared some deep, dark business together. Gene Deal even claimed he personally knew young people caught up in Jay-Z's world, yet somehow, Jay-Z never faced any real scrutiny for it. While Diddy's downfall made headlines, Jay-Z has been shielded by the industry's silence and power. But that protection is cracking now. The same truth that buried Diddy is creeping toward Jay-Z too, suggesting his whole empire might be standing on borrowed time.
Very scary happened to him. One of his close friends is speaking out and saying that while he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying, yes, a correctional officer or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and quote unquote saved him. Yes. And so, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, I think in some sort of protected environment. Remember MDC, isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
It can't be a coincidence that just as whispers start spreading about Jay-Z being targeted, Diddy is also reportedly being attacked behind bars. In the past couple of months, there have been several attempts on Diddy's life. The only reason he is still breathing is because a quick-thinking corrections officer intervened at the right time. Somebody is clearly out for blood, and this isn't random. The streets are buzzing that whoever is coming for Diddy is now setting their sights on Jay-Z next. It looks like payback season, and the game's biggest names are finally feeling the heat.
Is he safe, though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say, Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe because in court, we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers. And they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course, they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is.
Right.
They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teeny Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being raped in court. And we can and just attacks on his life because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize and to do something to him.
Well, what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like he's looked at as a trophy.
And karma or straight up payback, but Diddy is finally scared, really scared for the first time in his life. Behind those bars, he is feeling the same kind of fear he once inflicted on others. Now he is the one watching his back, living every day with the tension he used to cause. Life has truly come full circle for him.
Concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted. Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp, but he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him because he is a target.
So let's say he is sent to a minimum security prison. Is he out of the woods when it comes to that kind of assault?
If you're going, you and I talked about Ghislaine Maxwell, who went from the one place in Florida, which was a higher level, not a camp. And she was transferred after she did the interview with the couple-day interview. She was transferred to what they call a camp in Texas, which I'm familiar with. I've had other.
Gene Deal confirmed it. The attack on Diddy really happened. Lucy Finney, one of Diddy's closest associates, was the first to spill the news. Word is that an inmate armed with a shiv slipped into Diddy's cell and tried to go after him in the dead of night. Wild, right? And this wasn't even the first time someone has tried to get him. This marks the second attempt on his life. Insiders say the tension in that prison is unreal. Believe it or not, this might not even be Diddy's biggest problem yet.
The lawyers, when they were speaking on Diddy being in prison and the circumstances him being in prison, I didn't never hear about this, and nobody ever said anything about this. And I want to know if it's in the prison records. They said one of the guards stopped a dude from shanking Diddy. Now, I'm like, if he was doing all this positive shit in jail, and they was talking about he was, all the inmates loved him, and they was employing him and doing standing ovation. I wonder what inmate was trying to shank him. Was that one of the Tupac? Was that one of the Tupac fans, or that was one of Biggie fans? Because they said that the guard, they said that in court. One of the lawyers, one of the guards stopped one of the individuals that was trying to shank him, bro. And that was crazy. Nobody, I never, that didn't leak. Everything leaks from prison, but that didn't leak. Nobody wrote home and said, yo, dudes is in here trying to stab Diddy up. But the lawyers mentioned that today. I want to see if they're going to investigate that right there. You know what I'm saying? And base that, or he probably used that, base that on trying to help Diddy getting into one of those camps or one of those programs that, you know, he ain't got to worry about.
Let's not forget that Jay-Z doesn't have the kind of backup Diddy had. Diddy allegedly had serious protection because he was working with the feds as an informant, which kept him safe even when things got hot. But Jay-Z's safety came from powerful friends in the industry, the kind who could make problems disappear with a single call. Now, if those elites are done with him, the shield is gone. And Jay-Z is out here with no one left to guard his back.
I mean, what this guy did is disgusting. I don't think there's a person alive, a man or a woman, especially women, who are not going to hate this guy. Whatever he did was completely disgusting. It's beyond criminal. I don't even know what it is. I look at it like he disgraced everybody. He disgraced the black race by being a black man. I know a lot of black people, and they hate him for it because it painted a picture towards all of them. I think it's being followed all over the world. If he's not found guilty, or he's cut free, or he does a short amount of time, I mean, I can only imagine what the whole world would think. This is a disgusting country. So there's a lot of things.
Sammy, if you would, give me your comparison. I mean, listen, guys in the mob did some terrible, terrible things. The murders were gruesome and violent and painful, and they served a purpose. They were meant to terrify people into staying in line, right? Compare that to the things that you've heard alleged from the witness stand and testimony under oath from a lot of these young women and some of the young men who were his assistants. Compare the guys in the mob to the stuff you're hearing alleged against Diddy.
If we did that in the mob, we would be killed for it. We would never touch women and children and stuff like that. So that's against our rules, our principles. We would never get away with something like that. There was a guy, Roy DeMeo and Gas Pipe, who became serial killers for no reason, and they were killed. So, I mean, if he was in the mafia, he would, and we knew what he was doing, he would have been, there would be no trouble.
The stuff Diddy and Jay-Z were mixed up in isn't small-time drama. It's the kind of dirt that can cost you your life. Michael Franzese, a former capo in the infamous Colombo crime family, even stated that if someone like Diddy had pulled those same moves inside the mafia, he wouldn't have lasted a day. The moment they found out what he had been doing, it would have been over. No questions asked. What's wild is that Franzese said the same rules would apply to Jay-Z too. Not even the mob would look the other way for that kind of behavior.